Why did a plain envelope get handed to me in the office lobby like I was a stranger? How did my "I'm lonely" speech turn into a divorce filing with rules that started the same day? My name is Lavinia Holt. I was 34, and I worked as a marketing coordinator for a small software company. People said I was good with words. I believed that, and I used it. I knew how to sound calm while I pushed someone into a corner. I knew how to cry without real tears. I also knew how to smile in public and make my husband look like the problem. Ethan was 36. He worked as an engineer and talked like a man who liked facts. He did not like drama. That was his weakness, in my mind. I wanted heat and chase and proof. I wanted him to look at me like I was a prize. When he did not do that, I told myself he was failing. I told myself I was the lonely one. I said it so many times that it started to feel like truth. That morning, I stood in our kitchen and watched him make oatmeal for the kids. Nora sat with her hair half brushed. Miles held his spoon like it was a tool. Ethan moved in small, neat steps. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes, but I did not thank him. He asked if I was taking the kids to school. I said I had an early meeting, even though I did not. He looked at me for a second, like he wanted to ask more. Then he nodded and kept stirring. I hated that nod. It felt like he was letting me go too easily. I said I needed more attention. I said I felt alone in my own house. Ethan asked what more meant. I said he should already know. He said he could plan a date night. I said a date night was not the point. He asked if I wanted to talk after work. I said I was too tired lately. In my head, I was building a case. I was making him guilty before he even knew the charge. Nora asked why we sounded sharp in the morning. Ethan said we were just tired. I said Daddy was stressed. I said he had a lot on his mind. It sounded kind. It was not kind. It made him look weak. Nora nodded like she understood, but she did not. She just took smaller bites. When Ethan walked to the sink, I noticed 2 mugs on the counter, placed apart like they did not belong together. One was his plain grey mug. Mine had a small gold line on it. I had bought it because it looked expensive. I liked expensive things, even when I could not afford them. I liked the feeling of being above a normal life. Ethan's phone lit up while he wiped the counter. I saw a calendar reminder flash on the screen. It said, "Downtown, 10:40 a.m." He turned it face down fast. It was a small move. It should have meant nothing, but I felt something shift in the room, like a door that did not fully close. I told myself he was hiding something. That idea made me feel better because it made me right. At work, the office smelled like printer paper and cheap coffee. I liked that place because people listened to me. In our open plan area, I was the person who knew the gossip and the deadlines. I could make my life sound big. I could say I had a hard marriage and brave feelings. People loved brave feelings. Tessa from the salon texted me early. She asked how I was holding up. I said I was trying. I said Ethan had changed. I said he did not initiate anything in the relationship anymore. I did not use graphic words. I just used sad ones. I said I felt unwanted. I knew which words would make her angry on my behalf. I knew she would tell me I deserved more. At lunch, my coworker Janelle asked why I looked tired. I said my husband was distant. I said I was carrying everything. I said he was cold. She asked if he was mean. I said he was not loud, but he could be cruel with silence. I said that like silence was a crime. She nodded like I had survived something. It was a neat trick. If Ethan spoke, I could call him harsh. If he stayed calm, I could call him cold. Either way, I won. I checked my phone and saw a message from Brandon. His name sat there like a soft light. He worked with a vendor we used sometimes. He had a smooth way of writing. He always asked how my day was. He asked if I was okay. He asked if Ethan appreciated me. I told Brandon that Ethan did not understand me. Brandon said I deserved to feel seen. That line stayed in my chest like warm air. I did not tell myself I was doing something wrong. I told myself I was fixing a problem Ethan caused. In the afternoon, Ethan called me once. His number came up and I waited a few seconds before I answered. He asked if I could pick up Miles because the daycare had called about a small fever. I said I had a deadline. He asked if it was urgent. I said yes. He said he would leave work early. I said he always made me feel like I was failing. He went quiet. Then he said, "Okay," and hung up. I stared at the screen after the call ended. I wanted him to fight back. I wanted him to say I was wrong. I wanted him to raise his voice so I could show the world. Bootis was the game I did not admit I was playing. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. When I got home, the house was too quiet. Miles was on the couch with a blanket. Nora drew at the table. Ethan moved between them, checking temperatures and making soup. He asked how my day went. I said it was hard. He asked what happened. I said work was the only place I felt valued. I watched his face as I said it. I wanted it to hurt him. He blinked once, like he took a hit, and then he kept his voice even. He asked if we could talk after the kids slept. I said I was exhausted. He said he wanted to understand. I said he never understood. He asked what he had done. I said the problem was that he did not do enough. Later, I went upstairs and saw a folder on the corner of his desk. It was labeled Utilities. Next to it was another one that said Bank. That looked normal. But Ethan never used folders like that. He was more of a keep it in my head type. I told myself he was planning something. That thought scared me, and I did not like being scared in my own story. I opened the drawer under the desk, but it did not slide. It was locked. I heard a small click from inside, like something settling. I stepped back as if the drawer had bitten me. Ethan came into the room a moment later, holding a clean towel. He looked at my hand on the drawer. He asked what I was looking for. I said I was just cleaning. He said he would handle the office area. I said I did not need permission in my own house. He said I was right, and he still closed the door gently behind him. That gentle door made me feel louder than I wanted to be. I stood there and told myself I was the victim. I told myself I was lonely. I told myself he had forced me to look elsewhere for care. And as I repeated those lines in my head, I felt the first small fear I could not spin into pride. I kept telling myself that Ethan was the reason I felt empty. I said he made the house feel like a waiting room. I said he treated me like a chore. When I said it out loud, it sounded clean. It sounded like a fair complaint. Inside, it was more like a plan. If I could make him the villain, then I could do anything and still feel good. 2 days after the drawer incident, Tessa invited me out. She said I needed air and noise and people who got it. I said I could not, because Ethan would act offended. She said he would act offended no matter what. I liked that. It gave me permission. In the kitchen that evening, Ethan asked where I was going. I said I was meeting Tessa for a quick drink, and I would be home early. He asked if I could stay for bedtime first. I said the kids were fine and he was their father. He said he knew, but he missed being a team. I told him he should have thought about teamwork before he let me feel alone. He looked down at Miles's lunchbox and did not answer. I dressed carefully. Not too much, not too little. I wanted to look like a woman who was finally taking care of herself. Nora watched me put on lipstick. She asked if I was going to work. I said it was a work thing, which was not true. Ethan heard that and his eyes shifted toward me. He asked why I said work. I said it was easier than explaining adult problems. He said okay, but his jaw tightened. In the car, my phone buzzed with a message from Brandon. He asked if I was still going out tonight. I did not answer right away. I liked letting it sit, like a secret I controlled. When I finally replied, I said I was meeting friends and I felt tired. He wrote back that I deserved fun. He said Ethan did not know how lucky he was. I read it twice and felt warm. At the rooftop bar, the music was loud and the lights made everyone's skin look smooth. Tessa hugged me and said I looked alive. I told her I had to because no one else would bring me back to life. She laughed and said I was too good for a boring man. I did not correct her. We took pictures by the railing. The city lights were behind us like a fake movie set. Tessa told me to look serious, then told me to look happy, then told me to look like I did not care about anyone. I did all three. She posted one and tagged me right away. In the caption, she wrote something about strong women who refuse to beg. I knew people would read it and assume Ethan was the reason. I checked my phone again. Brandon sent a small joke. He asked if I was smiling yet. I smiled at the screen. Tessa saw it and asked who I was texting. I said it was just a work contact. She said she hoped it was a man who knew how to treat me. I said she was being silly, but I did not stop her. After a second drink, Tessa started talking louder. She said some men only respect women who leave them. She said men like Ethan needed fear. She said I had been too patient. I nodded and let her talk like she was my lawyer, my therapist, and my sister all at once. A group of people from my office showed up. Janelle waved and came over. She asked if Ethan was with me. I said he did not like crowds. I said he always found reasons to stay home. Janelle said that sounded lonely. I said it was lonely. I said I had tried everything. I said I was tired of proving myself to a man who did not deserve me. In my head, I was telling a story where Ethan was lazy and cruel. In real life, Ethan packed lunches and paid bills and stayed up with sick kids. But those things did not sound romantic. They did not make me feel special. I needed a bigger problem to justify my feelings. Tessa asked if I wanted Ethan to come pick me up later. I said yes, because I wanted to show everyone he still had to serve me. I texted him a short message with a smiley face, like I was being kind. I said we were finishing soon, and asked if he could come at 10. He replied that he could. He asked if I was okay. I said yes. Later, when the music got louder, Tessa leaned close and said she wanted to make a funny clip. She held her phone up and aimed it at me. She asked me to say what I really felt. I should have said no. Instead, I wanted the moment. I wanted the crowd. I told her, in a joking voice, that some husbands forgot their wives were women. I said some men acted like the ring was a lock. I said Ethan treated me like a lamp in a room, always there, never noticed. People around us laughed in that sharp way that meant they were choosing a side. Someone asked if Ethan was that bad. I said he was not bad, just selfish. I said he kept his energy for work and gave me leftovers. I said I had asked for effort and got silence. I did not say anything explicit. I just made him sound small. My phone buzzed again. A reminder popped up. Meeting, personal. I did not remember setting it. It made my stomach twist. For a second, I wondered if it was Ethan's reminder, not mine, like our calendars were crossing in ways I did not see. I swiped it away fast. When 10 came, Ethan arrived exactly on time. I saw him at the entrance, looking out of place in his simple jacket. He did not glare. He did not stomp. He just waited, like a man picking up groceries. That calm made me angry. It did not match the villain I had sold. Tessa waved him over like he was a waiter. She asked if he was ready to take his queen home. Ethan smiled politely and said hello. He asked me if I had a good night. I said it was fine, and I let my eyes drift past him, like he was not the main point. On the way down in the elevator, Ethan asked if I was upset with him. I said he always made it about him. He said he was trying to understand. I said understanding came after effort. He asked what effort I wanted. I said he should have known years ago. In the parking garage, the air smelled like oil and cold cement. Tessa followed us out, still filming little pieces. Ethan asked her to stop recording. She asked why, like he was hiding something. He said he did not want to be on camera. She laughed and said he was dramatic. I liked that she said it for me. In the car, Ethan drove with both hands on the wheel. He asked why Tessa was posting things about strong women and begging. I said he was paranoid. He said he saw the tag. I said he should not stalk my friends online. He said it was public. I said if it bothered him, he should try harder. When we reached home, I stayed in the car for a moment. Brandon had sent one last message. He said he wished he could have seen me tonight. He added a small flame emoji. I stared at it, then deleted the thread like it was a dirty plate. Ethan opened the front door and turned on the hall light. He asked if I was coming in. I said yes, and I fixed my face into a tired smile, like I was the one who had been hurt all night. Sunday came fast, like the week did not want to leave me alone with Ethan. My mother had planned dinner at a family restaurant with a long table. She said it would be good for us. I knew what she meant. She wanted witnesses. She wanted a stage where I could speak and Ethan could look guilty. In the morning, Ethan moved around the house like he was avoiding sharp edges. He made pancakes for the kids. He asked Nora what she wanted on top. She said strawberries. He asked Miles if he felt better. Miles said yes and held up his toy car like proof. Ethan smiled at them, soft and real. I watched and felt a tight feeling in my chest. Not love, not hate, something messy. Ethan asked if we were still going to dinner. I said yes. He asked if I wanted to drive together. I said we could, if he could act normal. He asked what normal meant. I said he knew. He did not answer. He just wiped the counter and put the syrup away. His phone buzzed once. He glanced at it and turned it face down, same as before. I told myself he was hiding a new life. That thought made me feel stronger. If he had secrets, then my own secrets did not matter. Before we left, I checked my reflection and adjusted my hair. Nora watched me again. She asked why I always looked extra pretty when we went to Grandma's. I said it was polite to look nice. Ethan heard and gave me a quick look. He asked if I was nervous. I said I was only tired of being judged. In the car, I texted Tessa that tonight would be interesting. She replied with a laughing face and said I should stand up for myself. I liked that line. It sounded like a reason. At the restaurant, the hostess led us to the long table near a window. My mother, Cara, was already there, sitting like she owned the place. My brother Noah was beside her, leaning back with his arms crossed. Ethan's parents, Marisol and Graham, sat on the other side. They looked polite and careful, like they were walking through fog. Everyone greeted the kids first. Nora smiled, but it was small. Miles climbed into the booth and started swinging his feet. Ethan pulled his chair in for him and asked him to sit still. I noticed Ethan kept his voice calm, even with the noise around us. My mother asked how the week had been. I said it had been hard. She asked why. I said Ethan had been distant again. Ethan looked at his menu and did not interrupt. That made me bolder. My mother asked if Ethan was still working all the time. Ethan said he had deadlines, but he tried to be home for bedtime. I said he was physically home, but not really present. He looked up and asked what I meant. I said he acted like I was a task he had already finished. Noah snorted and asked if Ethan even took me out anymore. Ethan said we had talked about a date night. I said he talked about things a lot, but he did not change. Ethan asked what change I wanted. I said I wanted him to prove he deserved me. I said that slowly, so everyone heard it. Marisol's eyes narrowed just a little. She asked what deserved meant in a marriage. I said it meant effort. I said it meant attention. I said it meant not leaving your wife alone even when she sat right beside you. I was careful not to sound too cruel. I wanted to sound sad, not sharp. Graham asked if we had tried counselling. Ethan said he was open to talking. I said talking was cheap. I said I had been talking for years. Ethan asked if I could give one clear example. I said he always asked for examples because he wanted to turn my feelings into a math problem. That made my mother nod. The server came with bread and there was a small pause. I used it to breathe and to watch Ethan. He did not look angry. He looked tired. That made me feel annoyed, like he was stealing the role I wanted. My mother asked Ethan if he understood how lonely I felt. Ethan said he heard me. He said he did not want me to feel alone. He asked what he could do differently this week. I wanted him to snap. I wanted him to say I was wrong. Instead, he sounded reasonable. It made my story weaker. So I pushed harder. I said I should not have to teach a grown man how to love his wife. I said I was not a coach. I said I was a person who deserved to be chosen. Ethan asked if I thought he did not choose me. I said he chose me once, and then he stopped proving it. Noah said that sounded fair. He said some men got lazy. Ethan looked at Noah and asked what he meant by lazy. Noah said Ethan was quiet, and quiet men often hid things. I felt a flicker of victory. That was my line, but it sounded better coming from a man. Ethan did not argue. He nodded once and said he understood the concern. He said he had nothing to hide. He said he wanted a calm home for the kids. He said he would not fight at the table. He said we could talk later, privately. My mother rolled her eyes and asked why he always avoided real talk. Ethan said this was real talk, but it was not the right place. I said he always said not the right place because he feared accountability. Marisol put her napkin down and asked me to stop using big words like weapons. She said I could express pain without humiliating her son. I felt heat rise in my face. I told her she was biased. I told her she always protected Ethan. Marisol said she protected the kids from chaos. She said Nora looked scared. I turned and saw Nora staring at the table, tracing the edge of her placemat with one finger. Ethan noticed too. He asked Nora if she was okay. She said she was fine, but she did not look up. Miles asked if we were still getting dessert. Ethan said yes. I said we would see. The rest of dinner moved like a bad play. I kept dropping little lines about being alone. Ethan kept answering with calm sentences. My mother kept siding with me. Graham stayed quiet. Marisol watched me like she was memorizing my face. In the parking lot, Ethan asked if we could go home. I said we could, but I was not done talking. He said we would talk after the kids slept. I said he always delayed. He said he was protecting them. I said he was protecting himself. At home, the kids went upstairs to change for bed. Ethan walked into the kitchen and started rinsing dishes we had brought back. I followed him. I told him he embarrassed me by acting calm, like I was crazy. He asked why I needed a public fight. I said I needed him to show he cared. He asked if caring meant yelling. I said caring meant proving. Ethan dried his hands and walked toward his small desk area. I watched him open the drawer that had been locked before. It opened just enough, then stopped. He shifted his body to block my view. I heard that same soft click again, like a latch catching. I asked what he kept in there now. He said it was household stuff. I asked why it was locked. He said he wanted things organized. I said he never cared about organization before. He said, people change when they need clarity. Then, in the quiet, I heard a faint hum from the hallway closet, like our small shredder was running. It lasted only a moment. Ethan did not look at me when it stopped. I told myself he was doing something sneaky. I told myself it was about me. And still, a small part of me wondered if he was simply preparing to stop being my target. The next week, Ethan changed in a way I did not understand at first. He stopped asking the questions I expected. He stopped trying to pull feelings out of me like he was mining for gold. He started speaking in short sentences about simple things. He asked what time I would be home. He asked who would pick up Nora. He asked if Miles needed more cough syrup. He did not ask if I missed him. He did not ask who I was texting. That quiet felt like a door closing. On Tuesday, I stood in the school pickup line with other parents. The cars crawled forward like tired animals. I liked that line because people watched each other. People judged hair, clothes, mood. I could use that. If I looked worn out, someone would ask why. If someone asked why, I could answer. Janelle from work pulled up behind me. She waved and rolled her window down. She asked how things were at home. I said it was heavy. She asked if Ethan was being difficult. I said he was being distant, like he wanted me to beg. I said he was acting cold to punish me. Janelle frowned and said that sounded unfair. I said it was unfair. I made my voice soft so it would sound true. When Nora climbed into the back seat, she looked at me like she was checking for storms. She asked if Dad was picking her up tomorrow. I said maybe. She asked why it was always maybe now. I told her adults were busy. She said Dad was always on time. That simple sentence hit me harder than it should have. At home, I walked into the kitchen and saw a sticky note on the fridge. It said, "Bring forms." The handwriting was Ethan's. Under it was a printed school calendar with some days circled. I asked him what the forms were. He said they were for school and doctor things. I asked why he was doing it alone. He said he was not doing it alone, he was just doing it. I did not like that answer because it gave me nothing to fight. That evening, I went to the gym for my mental health. That was what I told Ethan. He asked what time I would be back. I said soon. He said he needed a real time for the kids' bedtime routine. I said he was controlling. He said he was planning. I told him planning was not love. He said love also needed responsibility. I rolled my eyes like he was boring. In the gym lobby, the TV played news I did not watch. The front desk clerk smiled at me, and I smiled back. I checked my phone in the corner near the water bottles. Brandon had sent a message asking if I was still upset. He asked if I wanted to meet for coffee later in the week. I told him I did. I told him Ethan was making me feel like I was the problem. Brandon said I was not the problem. He said I deserved comfort. I read that and felt proud, like I had won a prize. When I got home, Ethan was on the living room floor, building a block tower with Miles. Nora sat at the table doing homework. The room looked normal, almost peaceful. That annoyed me. Peace made my complaints look dramatic. Ethan asked if the gym helped. I said it helped more than being at home. He nodded once and asked if I could help with Nora's spelling words. I said I was tired. He said okay, and did it himself. He did not argue. He did not guilt me. He just moved on. I felt like I was swinging at air. Later, in the hallway, I noticed the guest room door was half closed. A guest bed should not feel lived in, but it did. The blanket was folded like someone had used it and tried to hide it. I asked Ethan if he slept in there. He said he did, because he needed rest for work. I asked if he was trying to punish me. He said no. He said he was trying to avoid late-night fights. I said he was dramatic. He said he was calm. I told myself he was being passive-aggressive. I told myself he wanted me to chase him. But I also felt a new fear. What if he did not want me to chase him at all? On Thursday, I stopped at the supermarket after work. I wanted to look like a good mother doing normal tasks. I wanted to feel stable. At the checkout, my phone buzzed. I flipped it over fast, but the screen still showed the top of a message preview. It was Brandon again, asking if tomorrow at 10:40 a.m. worked. My stomach tightened. That time matched the reminder I had seen on Ethan's phone. I told myself it was a coincidence. I told myself Ethan could not possibly know. I paid quickly and walked out with my bags digging into my hands. At home, Ethan was at the table with a laptop open. I could see rows and columns like a spreadsheet. He closed the screen when I walked in. Not fast, not guilty, just closed like he was done. I asked what it was. He said it was a budget. I asked why he was budgeting now. He said prices were up and he wanted clarity. He used that word again, clarity, like it meant more than money. I told him he was acting like we were strangers. He said we were acting like a couple that needed structure. I said structure was not love. He said love without structure turned into chaos. I said he was calling me chaos. He said he was calling the situation chaotic. I told him he always twisted words. He said he was being precise. That night, Nora came out of her room in her pajamas. She held her stuffed rabbit tight. She asked why Dad's mug was on the other side of the counter now. Ethan said he liked it there. Nora asked if Dad was mad at Mom. Ethan said he was not mad, he was just tired. Nora looked at me and waited. I said Dad had a lot on his mind. I said he worked too much. Ethan did not correct me. That was worse than arguing. It let my story live. On Friday morning, I left early and said it was for a client meeting. Ethan asked which client. I said he was interrogating me. He said he was just asking. I said he never trusted me. He said he trusted facts and routines. I snapped that I was not a routine. He said neither were the kids, and still, they needed one. I drove to the coffee shop downtown. It was bright inside, with plants and clean tables and people typing on laptops. Brandon came in a few minutes later, smiling like we were old friends. He asked if I was okay. I said I was not. I said Ethan was pulling away to punish me. Brandon said Ethan sounded insecure. I said yes, he was insecure. Saying it out loud made me feel powerful again. We talked too long. I kept glancing at the window. I told myself it was just habit. Then I saw Ethan's car across the street for a second, parked near a meter. My heart jumped like it wanted to escape my chest. The car sat still, then moved forward and turned the corner. I did not see Ethan's face. I only saw the shape of the car and the slow, careful way it left. Brandon asked what was wrong. I said it was nothing. I said I was just tired. He offered to walk me to my car. I said no, I could handle it. On the drive back, my phone made a soft beep. A notification said, "File uploaded successfully." I did not know what file. I did not know from where. I stared at the message at a red light until it disappeared. When I got home, Ethan was in the kitchen putting clean dishes away. 2 mugs sat apart again, like borders. He asked if my meeting went well. I said yes. He nodded like he believed me, or like it did not matter. I asked where he had been this morning. He said he ran an errand. I asked what errand. He said it was personal. That word felt like a wall. I told him he was being secretive on purpose. He said he was being private. I told him privacy in marriage was betrayal. He looked at me and said betrayal was something else. I pretended not to hear the weight in that sentence. I told myself he was trying to scare me. I told myself I was still in control. But my hands would not stop shaking when I went upstairs and saw the guest room door fully closed. The fundraiser was on Saturday night at the community hall near the river. Tessa said it would be perfect because everyone from town would be there. She said I could shine and remind people that I was not the kind of woman who begged for basic love. I told her she was being dramatic, but I still chose my outfit like I was going to court. Ethan said he would go too. He said the kids wanted to see the raffle table and the balloons. He said it was good for families to show up. His voice sounded flat, like he was reading a normal script. I wanted him to sound jealous or worried. I wanted a crack. I got none. Before we left, I walked past his desk area and noticed the printer tray was open. A single blank page sat half out, like it had been started and then stopped. The room smelled faintly like toner. Ethan was in the hallway with his keys in his hand. I saw a new key on the ring, one I did not recognize. I asked what it was for. He said it was for storage. I asked what storage. He said it was personal. That word again. Personal. At the hall, people greeted us like we were a normal couple. That made me feel invisible. I needed the room to see my pain. I needed attention to prove I mattered. I took Nora's hand and smiled wide. I kissed Miles's head. I made sure to look like a mother who did everything alone, even while Ethan carried the diaper bag and the snack cup. Tessa rushed over and hugged me hard. She said I looked like a woman who had woken up. She pointed her phone at us and said she wanted a quick clip for her story. Ethan stepped slightly back, like he did not want to be in it. Tessa asked why he always acted guilty. Ethan said he did not like being recorded. Tessa laughed and said people only hated cameras when they had something to hide. I watched him. I wanted him to snap. He didn't. We walked through the crowd. I saw coworkers, parents from school, neighbors. I felt the eyes on my face, and I enjoyed it. I leaned into Tessa and said I was tired of being lonely. She said I should tell people the truth. I said I had tried privately, but Ethan did not listen. That was not true. Ethan listened. I just did not like what he asked me to say out loud. At the raffle table, a woman from the PTA asked how married life was. I smiled and said it was a journey. She laughed and said marriage was hard. I lowered my voice and said some husbands forgot their wives were real people. Ethan stood close enough to hear. He did not move. He did not react. The woman gave me a sad look like I was brave. Tessa gathered a few people near the drink station. She asked everyone to do a small toast. She said it was for women who choose themselves. She looked right at me. I felt my chest lift. I was ready. I raised my cup and said I had been carrying a lot. I said I loved my family, but I could not carry a marriage alone. I said I was lonely because my husband had not proven he deserved me. I said it like it was a rule of nature. People went quiet in that way that feels like power. Ethan's face stayed calm. He did not look down. He did not look away. He just looked at me like he was taking a note in his head. Someone behind Tessa let out a small laugh, like they expected drama. Another person said Ethan should step up. I waited for Ethan to defend himself, so I could call him defensive. He did not give me that gift. He asked, very calmly, if we could talk later in private. I said we had talked for years and nothing changed. He said he heard me and still wanted to talk in private. I said he wanted privacy because he liked hiding. He said he did not hide, but he also would not perform. That word, perform, made me angry. It made me feel like a child throwing a fit. I told him he was punishing me with silence. He asked me what punishment looked like, because he was standing right there. I said punishment was refusing to chase me. I did not say those exact words, but that was what I meant. I said he had become cold on purpose. He asked if I wanted him to yell. I said I wanted him to care. He said caring was not the same as yelling. He said caring was also keeping the kids calm. He glanced toward Nora, who was watching us from near the cupcake table. Miles clung to Ethan's leg and rubbed his eyes. I hated that Ethan had the kids near him. It made him look safe. Tessa stepped in and said I deserved more. Ethan told her, politely, that this was between him and me. Tessa asked why he always acted like a lawyer. Ethan said he was acting like a father. We moved away from the crowd, but people still watched. I could feel it. It made my skin buzz. I said Ethan was embarrassing me with his calm. He said I was embarrassing myself with public speeches. I said I had a right to speak. He said I did, and he had a right to set boundaries. On the way out, my phone buzzed. I saw a thread named Follow Up and a missed call with no caller ID. I swiped them away fast. I could not handle more pressure. I needed to feel in control. I needed to feel like the room was on my side. At home, the kids went upstairs slowly. Nora asked if we were still a family. Ethan said we were always their family. Nora asked if Dad would still come to school events. Ethan said yes. She looked at me like she wanted my answer too. I said of course, but my voice sounded thin. In the stairwell landing, I stopped Ethan and told him he had humiliated me by refusing to fight. I said he made me look desperate. He asked why I needed the public to judge us. I said because he did not respond in private. He said he had responded many times. He said I rejected every solution because I wanted a different problem. I told him he was twisting it again. He said he was being clear. I heard a soft beep from his phone. He glanced at it and put it back in his pocket. I saw the edge of the screen for a second, like a recording app had just stopped. I told myself I imagined it. I told myself he was not that careful, but my stomach tightened anyway. Ethan took one slow breath and looked past me, toward the kids' hallway. He lowered his voice. He asked me to stop using the children and the crowd as tools. I laughed and said he was being dramatic. He said he was being proper. I asked what proper meant. He said it meant lawful. He said it meant calm. He said it meant he would not beg, and he would not shout. He said he would handle it properly. Monday morning, I walked into my office like nothing had happened. I wore a bright blouse and a calm face. I told myself I was still the good one. I told myself Ethan was only trying to scare me with that properly line. I even practiced a story in my head where I sounded mature. I planned to say I was setting boundaries too, if anyone asked. At my desk, Janelle asked how the fundraiser went. I said it was fine, but I also said Ethan had been weird. I said he acted like a stranger and tried to control my mood. Janelle asked if he yelled at me. I said he did not yell, but his quiet was worse. I said it felt like punishment. She nodded like she believed me. Around lunch, my phone buzzed with a message from my mother. She asked if I had won yet. I told her Ethan was trying to look calm so people would take his side. She told me to post something about emotional neglect. I said I might. I told myself it was truth, not revenge. At 2:15, my manager asked me to come downstairs for a quick meeting. His tone sounded careful. I walked to the elevator and fixed my hair in the mirror. I told myself they were going to praise me for a campaign update. I told myself I was fine. In the office tower lobby, I saw HR standing near the reception desk. A woman in a neat blazer stood with them, holding a folder. I did not recognize her. Ethan was not beside her. He was farther back, near the glass doors, hands relaxed at his sides. He did not glare. He did not smirk. He looked calm in a way that felt final. The woman asked if I was Lavinia Holt. I said yes, and my voice sounded smaller than I wanted. She said she needed to confirm my identity and hand me documents. I asked what documents. She said they were legal papers. I looked at HR, expecting them to step in for me. HR only watched, like they had been warned to stay neutral. I said Ethan was taking this too far. Ethan did not answer. He looked at the floor for a second, then back up. He stayed quiet like he was following a rule. The woman said I could accept the envelope or she could note that I refused. I took it because I did not want to look guilty. My hands shook, and I hated that. I held the envelope like it was something dirty. I stepped to the side and opened it. The first page said, divorce. My eyes jumped over words I did not fully absorb. I saw my name and Ethan's name. I saw a date. I saw lines that felt like walls. I saw temporary orders. I saw a schedule for the kids that started immediately. It listed days, pickup times, and drop-off locations. It said we would communicate only about the children, and only through a specific app. It said we would not harass each other. It said we would not post about each other in a way that could harm the other person's reputation. It said we would keep finances separate, in clear ways, while the process moved forward. I laughed once, like it was a mistake. I told HR it was private. HR said they had to document that I was served on site, because it happened in the lobby. My manager asked if I needed to go home. I said no, then I said yes. I turned toward Ethan and asked how he could do this to me. He did not argue. He did not explain feelings. He only said he would follow the schedule and keep things calm for the children. He said we could talk only through the app about Nora and Miles. He said he would not fight with me in public or private anymore. I said I was lonely and I had needs. He said loneliness was not a license to ruin a home. He said the process would handle the rest. Then HR asked me to sign that I received the envelope, and the pen felt heavy in my fingers as the lobby stayed silent.